All right, time for another weekly Squardle. This is number 92. If you're not familiar with Squardle, it's like Wordle on a grid. We're guessing a row and a column at the same time. This 8 is how many guesses we have remaining. Somebody suggested that I should start with some school subjects: maths, artsy, earth, story, and plant. And I thought that was a decent idea, so we're gonna do maths. Now, I know those of us in the United States are used to calling it math, not maths, and might think, why do they have an S at the end? And people outside of the US say, why don't they have an S at the end? And my answer is, language is weird and things don't always have to make sense. So there we go. All right, well, the A and T were really good. Okay, artsy, okay, which has the A in the same spot again. Earth, okay. Story, not a bad start, not a bad start. Okay, now we don't have an S, an L, an H, a Y, or a P, which is interesting. This here, what is this gonna be? This has to be, it's gotta be that, right? Tort? With an E at the end? Yeah. I think that's like, for like a dessert pastry kind of thing, right? I guess I wasn't sure if that was how it was spelled, but okay, it must be. All right, and then we've got the A here, there's an R somewhere in this row. I mean, it could be RR, it could be RT, it could be RE, those are all reasonable. There's an O in this column. Oh, so a lot of the clues, I keep thinking, oh, there's all these clues, but like this yellow A, there's an A there. This T, there's a T there. There's a T down here. This T is pointing at that T. This T is pointing at that T. You know, a lot of them are pointing at letters we already have, unfortunately. We could have an N at the end here. We do have the red and the yellow N's here. You could do like an EN, maybe? I don't know. I mean, there's lots of things we could do. We know, well, I should do these as definites. We know those are, because it's either that or it's turto, which is not a thing. So, but we could do EEN. We could do something like green here. That's not too bad. We end in a G, that's a little unusual, but it's not impossible. We could also do E here, EAT. We do have the yellow and the orange. Eaten or eater, one of the two. We need to have an M somewhere. I don't know if I like this starting with E and ending with G stuff here though. But maybe there's a word that works for that. Maybe if it was ING. Oh, but we can't have an N. Oh, it can't be an N there. Okay, never mind. Well, that doesn't work very good then, does it? Huh. I'm not sure. So maybe that doesn't work. We don't necessarily have to have the E there. I don't know if I like ending in G here, but I don't know what else is gonna be, because it can't be preen, there's no P. But we could get rid of the R and do, well, what would that be though? Tween, but there can't be a T. Can't be sheen, there's no S or H. Tween, no, well, I mean, we could do queen, but then you'd have to end in a Q here, so that's not good. So maybe not EEN, maybe not EEN. Let's get rid of that. Let's go back to the E here, though. I think that's, I kind of like that. Eaten or eater. Eaten with the yellow N here, that's pretty good. And what's gonna be after, here's a good question. OT, what? It can't be OTS, can't be OTH. It feels like it's almost, you know, gonna be an OTE almost for sure. I mean, there's probably something else it could be, but that seems like the most likely letter. But then what are we gonna have? We could do emote. We need to have an M somewhere. We're not gonna do a double, well, I mean, you could do eerie. So that's not impossible to have the double E here. I like emote because we need to have an M. This is gonna be AM something. Amber? Is that possible? I think that would work. Amber, BR isn't bad. If this was, but if this is double E, then it's gonna have to be eerie. And RBR is no good. So let's get rid of the R. This is not gonna be eaten. Let's go emote and amber. I like those. We've got tort. So, what? With the BR here, what's this gonna be? It's gotta be a vowel at the beginning. Yeah, I don't like the BR. Okay, maybe not amber. What about a more? Like that? I think that's a thing. You know, we're on this first row and column. I'm kind of thinking let's just go eerie. We know there's an E somewhere on the row and the column. You know, we'll definitely find the E. We might rule out some spots for E's. Why not? Let's go wild. It's not eerie. Okay. And there's only the one E. Okay, well, there's definitely an E right here though. And there's an, okay, that's the R there. Yep, okay, so there's no other E's in the row. I like emote, I like a more. I'm less confident in a more than I am emote. Because we know about the E. A, but I don't know how else to do those four. So I'm gonna go for that. Yes, okay, very nice. Okay, so we're getting there now. Okay, so we've got the ET here. This is, what's this gonna be? So we have no other clues to tell us anything about this column. For the row, all we need is the E at the end, which we don't necessarily need to do right now. We could get that when we do the last row and column potentially. So maybe the UT column is the place to look. We need to have an O. What if we did the O up here? Something, oh, but then that makes me think outro or something, but there's no R. We can't do outer. Maybe outdo? And etude? That's not too bad. We need to have an N. Oh, that's the problem over here. Look, we need to have an N. Let's go back for a second. We need to have an N in this column. It's not gonna be NR. So that means the N is at the end, almost 100%. And I like the EEN, but this would have to have a G then. But then, oh, what about defog? That gives us OUT. There's our O. This could be something like force, or I still like outdo, etude, forum, and demon and dated. There we go. Okay. So now the question is the best way to get all of those words. Unfortunately, we're on this third one. If we were on the fourth row and column, we could do etude, demon, and defog. We need to get the E there though. That's the main problem. But can I do it in less than 4? I don't think I can do it in less than 4. I can do it in 4 though. Yeah, I think it's gonna take 4. It's gonna force me to do 4 more. I'm gonna start with force and get that E. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the rows. I'm gonna do etude and demon, and then we're gonna defog the puzzle at the end. There we go. All right, well, we ended up with 5, which isn't great, but it's not terrible. When I start with 5 words, ending up with 5 isn't too bad. Very cool. Well, some interesting words in there. Amor and tort and etude and emote, and yeah, some interesting ones. Outdo is a little bit of an unusual word, so there you go. Well, let me know what your favorite subject is in school, and if you say math or maths, and how you did with this weekly Squardle. And of course, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon with some more puzzles.
How are you actually doing this without the modern things that we had?
Yeah, not even be able to, trigonometry and calculating your angles and all that stuff that we're used to doing, yeah.
Yeah, and it brings up the question of like, what is educated?
Oh, you know what? No. I said that there had to be an R here because there has to be second or fifth, but we could still have an R here. This could still be an R, which doesn't necessarily mean there's an R over here. It could be a Y. Symbol. Eyelid. That's a D. Let's do abide. Hope for some contradictions. There we go. All right, now we're getting some contradictions. So one of the D's is a lie, one of the I's is a lie. Confirms that these are true.